business houses charging VAT 2 days ahead of its implementation. The finance minister talking consumer protection. And GB Power says they are ready for the summer load.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all, I'm Shishina Wolf-Farquharson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, consumers throughout the country are bracing for the 4.5% increase in value-added tax. Reports say many stores are offering sales and shoppers are stocking up ahead of the July 1st increase. However, here on Grand Bahama, there are reports of a number of major establishments already enforcing the 4.5% increase 2 days ahead of its official implementation. Tonight, the officer in charge of consumer affairs on Grand Bahama is addressing those concerns. Our Megan Shepard has our top story.
Chief Price Inspector in the Department of Consumer Affairs, Reno Smith, says that the office has already begun receiving calls stating that business establishments have been charging the new 12% VAT rate on goods. Smith says that this is not acceptable and the businesses have since corrected these matters.
We've had an incident where someone purchased some goods from a particular food store conglomerate, and the person was charged 12% VAT already. The entity indicated that they were updating their system, and somehow the person was charged 12% VAT. However, the person was advised to return the goods or their receipt to be refunded, the difference. We anticipate some glitches, and so we're doing everything in our power to advise the populace accordingly.
Residents have also expressed concern regarding the bread basket list. It was announced earlier in the year that more fresh fruits and vegetables will be added to the list. However, the exact list currently remains unclear. Smith further adds that the new VAT exemption does not take effect immediately.
There are some concerns about the bread basket items. VAT will continue to be charged until August of 2018.
Clothing will also be duty-free as of July 1st. Smith is encouraging all business houses to consider their market and to pass on savings as much as possible.
To business houses, those that sell clothing and things, we ask you to work with the Bahamian people. Those items are now duty-free, whereas quite a bit of Bahamians have passports and visas. That's my argument. If you want my business, you work along with me, because I am a privileged Bahamian with a passport and visa. And most establishments will say they don't see me personally in their entities because I have the privilege. But for those who do not have the privilege, we are asking the business houses, please pass those savings and exemptions on to the Bahamian people. These are your people. We are all one.
Now, if you do have any concerns, you can contact the Department of Consumer Affairs.
If anyone is found violating the law, they will be prosecuted. The laws are there for a purpose, and it appears as if there might be lack of enforcing laws in this country, but I can assure you Consumer Affairs will enforce all the laws relevant to pricing, price gouging, hoarding.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Well, tonight, the Deputy Prime Minister says a number of checks and balances will be put in place to ensure transparency when it comes to value-added tax. He's also giving a warning to retailers who will benefit from the government's incentive to waive duty on clothing and shoe imports.
But if you do what you say you're going to do.
The Deputy Prime Minister says during the 2018-2019 budget, the government did its best to find ways to pass on savings to consumers, given the increase in value-added tax. He says that one major incentive includes a waiver of duty on clothing and shoe imports upon application by importers and retailers of the same. Turnquest says this is just one way the government has aimed to help buffer the 4.5% increase.
We do not want businesses to be profiting from these reductions that we've implemented. We recognize that the zero rating of some items is going to require a little bit more vigilance on our part, because there will be those unfortunate people who may try to take advantage of the system. We will not allow that to happen. We are going to be very vigilant. We are beefing up our audit department with qualified accountants, and we're going to be very active in ensuring that, again, retailers, businesses pay their required value-added tax and other taxes that may be required.
The DPM says to ensure transparency in the process, as well as ensure that the value-added tax is being paid, the government seeks to re-establish the Revenue Enhancement Unit.
We have now formalized that process, and we are going to be bringing in individuals from all of the various agencies, revenue agencies, to perform a task force or enforcement unit, and their job is going to be to monitor, both using data analytics as well as doing physical audits, our various payees, taxpayers, to ensure that they are in fact being transparent and they are passing on the savings and they are remitting to the government the taxes that are in fact due.
But he notes that the Consumer Affairs Department will continue its role with additional help.
Indeed, we have faith that they are able and capable of doing what needs to be done. But we're not, we at the Ministry of Finance are going to supplement their efforts, because we'll be doing our own checks, both through our audit program as well as going out and ensuring for ourselves what is happening in the consumer environment. Because again, all of the things we've done, we want to make sure that they're passed on to the consumer.
And for those retailers who believe that they can get duty-free goods and not pass on the savings, he says there could be serious consequences.
The law is fairly specific with respect to what those consequences are, and they can lead from anything from fines to criminal penalties. So it is a very serious thing.
Switching gears now, at this time of the year, consumers are gearing up for a spike in the use of electricity. With the peak summer months approaching, our Megan Shepard stopped by the Grand Bahama Power Company to get an inside look at how they are preparing for what is expected to be increased demand on electricity.
Planning and Scheduling Manager Vito Patrick says that in order to prepare for the summer months, Grand Bahama Power Company conducts maintenance on their fleet of engines at the beginning of every year.
Presently, we have completed 2 major outages the first half of this year so that we can be prepared for the summer months. Our generation capacity is 98 megawatts. During the summer months, we peak around 60 megawatts. So we are prepared for the hot summer months. Presently, we are peaking about 50 megawatts right now, so we have about double the capacity. So we are prepared for the summer months.
Maintenance Manager Ryan Wood adds that their generation fleet consists of 9 diesel engines.
We run 3 of them as a base load for the plant, and the reason we do that is because they have proven to be the most efficient engines. The other 6 are used as a complement to supplement load as load increases or decreases. Out of those 3 engines, 1 of them would have been due for scheduled major maintenance early this year, which we completed.
He explains what the maintenance process entails.
During this major maintenance, we would have serviced and inspected pistons, piston rings, liners, a complete change out of crankshaft bearings, basically in an effort to bring this engine back to almost new condition.
Patrick adds that the company's equipment is ready to take on the summer load, but if customers do experience any major outages, the main cause would be weather-related, such as a lightning strike. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
The University of the Bahamas Northern Campus continuing its efforts to expand its offerings from programs to its new residential facility, Hawksville Hall. Our Kimberly Mullings says during the summer, everyone is invited to tour the dorms before the fall semester.
The University of the Bahamas Northern Campus is planning to open the doors of Hawksbill Hall to students seeking residency this coming fall semester. Vice President of the campus, Dr. Ian Strawn, says due to the increase of programs at UB North and the limited space available to Family Island students at the main campus, Hawksbill Hall is a viable option.
Now Grand Bahama is a viable alternative to New Providence because we have the housing. Students and Family Island residents, parents who would send their kids to New Providence would do better to take advantage of Hawksbill Hall. We have many degree programs that we offer to completion. We have many that we do not, but you can certainly start your program here and finish, in many cases, up to 50% of the program before you might have to move to New Providence.
Dean of Students at UB North, Dr. Teo Cooper, says there's plenty of room for interested students.
This fine facility has 28 double rooms. For double occupancy, we have 28 single occupancy rooms. These are encompassed in what we call suites. We have 14 suites. Each have 2 double occupancy rooms and 2 single occupancy rooms. And we also have 2 handicap accessible rooms because that's another very important area for us in the university, to make sure that we are inclusive and to make sure that every Bahamian child has equal access to higher education.
In addition to the rooms is a full-service cafeteria providing breakfast, lunch, and dinner, a 24-hour computer lab, a common recreational room, twin laundry facility, a fitness room, and 24-hour security. Hawksbill Hall is set up like a home away from home, according to Vivian McIntosh, Assistant Director of Residential Life and Student Advocacy. She listed some things new residents could expect.
They will also be exposed to seminars that will address topics such as time management, study skills, conflict resolutions, just to name a few. The foundation of for anything to be successful is the environment in which one interacts. Therefore, together we will build a community that is stable and safe for all residents.
Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Stay with us. There's more news right after this break.